Welcome, my brother. Join me in the studio in Santa Maria.
Oh.
All right. And here, oops. And here we are in the studio, all the way from Four Corners and Shiprocks. With me tonight is a Native American, and that's why he should probably be singing Take Back America for the Indians. Because about 400 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, some permanent colonialists came to a rock far away from Four Corners and Shiprock in Plymouth. And they would have died of starvation and scurvy had not the Native Americans showed them how to plant corn and survive the winter. They got there at the wrong season of the year. With me, please welcome Nene.
Nene, thank you.
And he's from the tribe, clan of?
I am a Nehokatdian, and also known as a Navajo, and also by way of the Oglala Lakota Sioux Nations. And I have come to share from the council fire of my clan mother, Yellow Hair, and we come from Segit. We come from northern Arizona, and that is my clan mother, Yellow Hair, and the family. We are a Twitachini, Bitterwater clan.
Bitterwater clan.
Yes.
Turachini.
Uh-huh.
Now you have some eagle feathers and some items here. Do you want to explain before we get into the paperwork what this is about?
Yes, I come from the southwestern part of the continent that you call North America. And in the southwest region here is the tribe also known as Navajo. We reside inside of the 4 sacred mountains, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah. And these are lands that we have lived in since the beginning of our emergence stories and our creation. But we did not know of this story of where these constitutions come from and where they originated from, being over here in the Southwest. We did not understand where it came from, and our relatives out in the East Coast had made treaties with the foreigners at their arrival, and that's
their arrival on what you call Turtle Island.
Yes, Turtle Island.
We call North America, but Native Americans call it all Turtle Island?
Yes, it is called Turtle Island, from the South Americas all the way to the Canadas. We call it Turtle Island. And it has a creation story to that, why we call it Turtle Island.
Can you give us the 5-minute short version?
Sure. We say that as a foundation where you might see some of these pyramids on the lands here, all the way from the south, Teotihuacan to the Egypts, to the Incas, the Maya pyramids. So they all have a foundation of a woman foundation, meaning that the turtle is the foundation of a woman, and meaning her calendar is what is the foundation of this land. And it would be that the story of creation, saying that this first woman had been here on this land here, Turtle Island, from the last floods and from the last times of things happening here on these lands too.
You mean the Great Floods?
Oh yes, these things go back there to this story that I will share about this belt that I brought here today. And so calling it Turtle Island is this belt that originates with this Turtle Island. And it comes from a foundation of having a 28 cycle, 13 moon cycle, we call it, on Turtle Island. And so that calendar is the foundation coming from a woman, a supreme woman, clan mother, we call her, a clan mother. And that clan mother is who I am here representing to. As I mentioned before, her name is Yellow Hair. And also from the council fires of where the white buffalo calf pipe is out there in the Dakotas. And so I share that information about that turtle foundation, being that in the pyramids, all in the south to the north, there is calendars of this moon calendar and of this 28 moon cycle calendar. And from the Aztec, the Mayas, the Incas also, that they come with this belt here. It is the
Should
foundation.
We see the belt?
Yes, and so I will talk about the belt, how it is made for all the native clans here at the time of the arrival of the Dutch who would first come here. And so, for my people who do not understand why the significance of a wampum shell is from the East Coast, and the wampum shell is carved into beads and woven, and this was 2-row wampum treaty belt. And that at the time of the 1600s, there is no constitution like what is here.
Like what we have on the flag behind me.
So this
predates that.
this predates that. So that this is when the first people that got here is the foreigner was the Dutch, and then the British, and then the Romans. And it would signify that when you come onto the land, there are this Turtle Clan foundation on this land. So the head where this is made is with the Turtle Clan mothers, the Wolf Clan mothers, and the Bear Clan mothers, and all the Iroquois tribes out there, the Haudenosaunee. They made this belt with these foreigners, and the foreigner would have understanding that he is to walk his line and live there, where it originally was the 13 colonies there. And so they were given permission to come on to Turtle Island, never to cross over into our laws, and never to go over above the supreme authority of a clan mother and a headman. And so that is what has happened here today on Turtle Island, is that the lines have crossed, and there has now been no law for as long as you have been saying, take America back, because the foreigners are not on their line under the red, white, and blue.
The
But
Dutch, the English have
and the
trespassed
native
over
and the native are over here also, but because of social security numbers, and those are the paper documents that we will share about how my native people and native clans have ended up over here on this line. And you're not under the red, white, and blue anymore. They covered this right here, and so it's covered with the Bible today, with the star. So if you look at the flag of Iran, or Israel, you will see the star right there on the flag that looks like this to them.
Right.
So they are the ones who put that on top of here, and are trying to do away with this knowledge here.
I've never heard of this. This is all new to me.
Okay, so the reason, so I will share with the viewers out there, the reason the wampum shell is significant is because the wampum shell comes from the deepest depths of the oceans, of the sea. And when it is carved and made by native clan mothers, sacred hands touching these beads and weaving them into this belt, and that brings it from the depths of the ocean of Turtle Island to the surface, and then up to the sky. So it is that significant that this treaty is made from the deepest depths with the understanding that it's from the deepest of depths of the earth to the sky world, that this belt is made very sacred, and it was made forever. As long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the river flows.
When did the Western tribes hear this? Because this must have been made by Iroquois or
1600.
Lenape tribe or Algonquins.
This was made with the Iroquois people specifically, and it was made in Akwesasne, New York, where a lot of people do not know that these clan mothers.
What do we call that county now? What is it?
It is now it is called Hogansburg.
Hogansburg.
So it has been usurped of this belt here. How I come to get this belt is I went there across the Mississippi to the East Coast, and I sit with their leaders, their council, their clan headmen who are supposed to be on this line. But everybody has joined over here, and so they cannot use this belt anymore today. Is how I have this belt here today. If everyone is in the system now, meaning they have all become social security numbers, and they're no longer clan, they're all off of this line. They're all over here as citizens under not the red, white, and blue of peace, but of the gold trim admiralty laws,
flag,
as
right.
You and everyone else is out there.
You notice I don't have a gold fringed flag here behind me. You notice that?
And the red, white, and blue signifies that it is the flag of peace. And to the viewers out there, the reason I sing the song I'm singing is I have Navajo code talkers in my family. I have Vietnam veterans. I have no fathers here today on the land because of them breaking this laws, the great law of peace in the Ne we say the great law of beauty. And today my people have touched the weapons, the military weapons, and that was how we became citizens, because they now said, now you broke your law, the great law of peace. So this is what signifies that is, the foreigners came with friendship first. The white signifies friendship. Then comes respect, a mutual respect for one another. And then that creates peace, the great law of peace. And keeping in our respective canoe and ship is how it was stated to me. We go in our canoe, they go in their ship, and we go side by side, not
Parallel,
to infringe.
yeah,
Yes.
parallel down the river of life.
Yes. And
But
so
it
that is
hasn't-
what I share with the people, that we are far from this belt where the Constitution comes from here on Turtle Island. So that is where your Constitution comes from. When they put the Bible on the land, it took that away and you became under Roman canon laws. And you had a guest here recently, shared some knowledge of this. And so I extend a little bit more about that, where that came from, is from that breaking.
What are the eagle feathers here? And why this?
Well, these are my instruments that I carry here. These are sitting at. We don't put it on top of a pole like there, but we say that the eagle sit at the top of the white pine. He is the keeper of the day. He is the highest and of the day. He's in charge. Is the eagle.
And it's not a coincidence that the eagle then became adopted into American money system, is it?
Right. Yes. Yes, that is correct. So also that knowledge of where that money comes from is that a lot of people are not aware that it is we native people, also from these teachings here, that the eagle symbol was given as to borrow onto this money here.
Right.
Okay.
It's a debt note.
And there's the pyramid there, and so these things are not good today with the eagle people, the clans of the eagle, and that's what we are known as to the tribes of the south and the east and the west, that the North American tribes of the Turtle Island are known as the clans of the eagle, and so that is why I say we pull that symbol back, because you are killing us with something we gave you. We gave you a constitution, we gave you a land to live on, and we traded the wampum in to use this paper money when we know that it comes from a machine that prints out these things.
Right.
And so I also carry a pipe, which is a chanupa. And the reason I am showing these here for the viewers is that I want you to understand that in international law, there are only 3 ways that international law recognizes a true living treaty with native clans. There has to be living clan mothers and headmen, such as when there was the time made. There was not no of the Turo Wampum Treaty. There was not clan mothers and headmen with social security numbers when this is made.
I'm sure of it.
Okay, so this is what I'm stating, is that things have to be made with living clan mothers and headmen. The pipe, the chanupa, also is another way of international law that recognizes peace pipe treaties with living clan mothers and headmen. And the third one there is written and carved in stone treaties. One, such as a replication of what I'm speaking of here, is called the Rosetta Stone. And that Rosetta Stone goes back to the Egyptian times, when there was an understanding of why there was going to be another type of people coming onto the lands with the clans. And it is written in stone. And so it is called a Rosetta Stone, and the viewers can do more research on it. I don't want to go so far into it, but there were things done that this comes from 3,500 years ago that are written in stone. So those are the three ways that are identified in international law, that it is written in carved in stone, peace pipe treaties, or wampum bead shell treaty. And so what we've been dealing with here is paper.
You didn't explain the pine cone significance yet.
And again, the eagle sits at the top of the pine cone.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay,
and
yes.
the pine is to connect our minds. One mind, one heart, one voice, one goal, one mind.
And you
And
carry
that-
these with you wherever you go.
I carried them with me. I've been here in Oregon, Washington, and the West Coast now for the past 4 months, bringing this belt and this message to the clan mothers and the headsmen of the West Coast that I could find, or that they found me. But I am just sharing these that
Right.
with the clans and with your viewers here, that as Native people, we are a long way off of this belt here, and you're seeing a lot of cleansing on the Turtle Island and around the world. And it is because of these things the Native people have forgot to pray and hold their central fire and hold their ceremonies, and they're all on this line here.
You know,
so
I
so
have to-
that is why we are having what you're seeing around the world, cleansing.
I have to agree with you in the damage that the Federal Reserve notes have done, because just last June I went up to an island, a Native American occupied island called St. Michael's, Alaska, which is pretty close to Nome, close to the Arctic Circle. And these people don't like the word Eskimo. They're Inuits, and there's another tribe. But once the Bureau of Indian Affairs got control of these people, they cut them checks, they gave up traveling, making igloos, hunting walruses. They gave up, and when I was up there just this past June, they told me of the 400 natives still occupying St. Michael's Island, there were only 3 very old women in their late 90s or close to 100 years old that remembered anything about how to live off the land the way their ancestors. Now they get a check, they get drunk, they go to school, and then there's nothing for them. They can't really assimilate into the white culture, and they've lost their original Native American,
Yes.
or I should say Native Siberian, Alaskan culture north of the Arctic Circle. They've lost it because they went to the white men's school.
Yes.
And in a little bit, we're going to show you a little bit of Reverend Arnett, who was here just a few months ago, which I must mention, he was part of the first international tribunal that got numerous people who were untouchable in the government and in churches and got them indicted. Probably the most recognized one is Pope Benedict, who's still alive, who said he was sick. About a week after he was indicted and notified, you've been indicted, Pope Benedict, and there's a warrant out for your arrest. And if you leave the Vatican jurisdiction and go to Spain, there's a high probability you will be put in handcuffs. Can you imagine the Roman Catholic pontiff, Pope Benedict, being put in handcuffs? It's almost unthinkable. But so he resigned the popedom, so he no longer had a duty to go to that event in Spain. We now have Pope Francis, but Benedict hasn't died, and that's like the first time in 600 years a pope did not die on the throne of St. Peter in the Vatican. So this tribunal has power beyond the American jurisdiction, and they recognize Indian treaties, and they recognize in particular why he was indicted. The Canadian Native Canadians of North America, not Indians, they don't like that word Indians, but the natives of Canada were there before the French, before the English, before all the white men. these people were there, and they were thriving and living off the land and not destroying the land. Been there for hundreds of years. Nobody knows how many centuries or millenniums. And the three churches, as Kevin Annett put it, Reverend Kevin Annett, the Anglican Church of England, the Roman Catholic Church, and the
Jesuits.
United Church of Canada. The three main churches, they divided the provinces up, they dominated, and then they would say to the Native Americans, if you don't send your children to our missionary schools, you will sit in jail. That was the choice they were given. And that's and then at the native schools, what they called the native missionary schools, they would give them smallpox infected blankets. The little children, 5, 6, 7 years old, coming down with smallpox intentionally by the church missionaries of the three major churches. And that's why Pope Benedict got indicted, as well as three of his top leading cardinals. One was the cardinal in charge of the Jesuits, as Nene here pointed out. I don't remember all their specific names, but I do remember Joseph Ratzinger is the personal real name of Pope Benedict. The other three cardinals I don't recall at the moment. So he is, and the reason I'm mentioning this, and the reason why I was more than pleased that Nene would interrupt his travels and what he's trying to do, contacting headmen and clan mothers to come on the show, is because right now, as we are sitting here today on the 6th of March in 2020, a second international tribunal is being created right now, and they have more people to indict. And I can't tell you where. It'll be on a website, probably through Skype. I can't tell you who's going to be on the new grand jury. This was a super grand jury. The last one they had was 58 members. Kevin Annett, the Reverend, who was kicked out of the United Church of Canada for exposing the crimes against the Native American children. Not just Native American, but Native Canadian children. You know,
yes.
And thousands of these children intentionally raped, murdered, given blankets with smallpox. Some years ago, some of you who watched me for 20 years will remember, I had Kevin Annett here. He was the titular chief of the Chumash band of the South Branch of the Santa Ynez River here in Santa Barbara County. And he also told me in that interview, the missionaries came up here and they gave them smallpox-infested blankets. And now there are
all the pomos.
And probably the band in Napomo as well. That was a shot of Kevin Annett you just saw.
Yeah.
And
thank you, Kevin Annett.
Thank you for all you've suffered and all they've put you through. And he's very difficult to get a hold of because he can't give out his phone number. There are people in the government of Canada and probably in the government of America that would like him dead because of what he exposed that happened to the Native Canadians. The same thing happened in schools in America with Native children. They make them forget their language, forget their customs.
Yes. Down here in the Southwest, we had Mormons.
You had
kidnapping
the Mormons.
us, and so I'm one of those children. I ran away from the Mormon.
You ran away from the Mormons.
Yes,
What year was
from
that?
Salt Lake City back in the 80s. I was
the
13
80s?
years old and made it back to
They were
Arizona.
still doing that in the 80s?
Yeah, so I helped kick off some of this investigation about to get that done away with the LDS.
Your father was from which clan?
He was a Bitani, Folded Arms clan.
Folded Arms
Yes,
clan?
the Folded Arms people.
And your
of
mother
this.
was from which clan?
Bitterwater.